Bonjour, word nerds. How are you doing today? This is the end of page 230. You know, I'm about to say it. Please write me a review. Why have people not been writing reviews? This is a catastrophe. No, just do it if you want to do it, but I really would appreciate it. And you can email me at dictionarypod@gmail.com if you want to talk to me. If you want to leave me a voicemail, there is a phone number, an old school phone number in the show notes. I'm sure you can find it. And you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at dictionarypod. I post pictures, and sometimes I'm trying to do a little bit more tweeting and stuff. Tweet, tweet. All right. The first word in this episode, August 8th, cleft lip. 2 words, noun from circa 1882. A birth defect characterized by one or more clefts in the upper lip, resulting from failure of the embryonic parts of the lip to unite. Yeah, if you see pictures of embryos early on, the face is sort of split, and it's supposed to all get sealed up, but eventually, or sometimes, it does not get sealed up, and so there is a split between the lip and the nose, and they can go fix this usually with surgery, and they've gotten pretty good at this. Yeah. Let's see. Next is cleft palate. This is related. Noun from 1847. Congenital fissure of the roof of the mouth. So yes, the roof of the mouth, the lip, the nose area, it's all connected. So it, the palate, the roof of the mouth might be connected, but the lip might not be. So that would be a cleft lip. But if it's so bad, the roof of the mouth has not been connected, and that can cause a lot of problems. So you got to go get that fixed if you can. All right, next is cleidoic. 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 Adjective from 1731. It is talking about an egg enclosed in a relatively impervious shell which reduces free exchange with the environment. This is from Greek, kleidon, which means to fasten or lock in. From kleis, which means key, and there's more at the word clavicle. Next is cleistogamous. Cleistogamous or cleistogamic, cleistogamous, cleistogamous, cleistogamous. This is an adjective from 1874, characterized by or being small, inconspicuous, closed, self-pollinating flowers, additional to and often more fruitful than showier ones on the same plant. Huh, interesting. Small, inconspicuous, closed, self-pollinating flowers, additional to and often more fruitful than showier ones on the same plant. So the little flowers on a plant that aren't as showy are cleistogamous. So interesting. As in, violets are cleistogamous. Cleistogamously is an adverb, and kleistogamy is a noun. The etymology is from Greek, kleistos, which means closed. Interesting. Next is clematis. Clematis or clematis. Clematis. So many ways. Clematis. Noun from 1578. Any of a genus of vines or herbs of the buttercup family, often having 3 leaflets on each leaf, and usually white, red, pink, or purple flowers. This is from, it's a genus name. How do I want to say it? Clematis. I'll say that. From the genus name Clematis, from Greek clematis, which means brushwood, or clematis. From klima, which means twig. From clan, which means to break. And there's more at the word clast with a C. Next is clemency, noun from the 15th century. 1a, disposition to be merciful and especially to moderate the severity of punishment due. 1b, an act or instance of leniency. 2, pleasant mildness of weather. And a synonym is the word mercy. Next is clement, adjective from the 15th century. 1, inclined to be merciful. Synonym is lenient, as in a clement judge. Number 2, the synonym is mild, as in clement weather. Clement weather for this time of year. I missed the rest of it. And clemently is an adverb. Next is clementine or clementine. I want to see a clementine judge. This is a noun from 1943, a small, nearly seedless citrus fruit that is probably a hybrid between a tangerine and an orange. The name is French clementine, probably from Clement Rodier, Clement Rodier, who was a French priest who discovered the hybrid circa 1902. So they took the name tangerine and combined it with his name Clement, and they became Clementine or Clementine. Hey, did you know that? I sure didn't. I think it's funny that it's probably from him. I mean, it seems if he found this hybrid and his name is Clement, it seems pretty likely that that's where it came from. All right, next is clench. Transitive verb from the 13th century. 1, it's the number 2 definition for the word clinch. Number 2, to hold fast. Synonym is clutch, as in clenched the arms of the chair. 3, to set or close tightly, as in clench one's teeth, also as in clench one's fists. Try not to clench your teeth, though. It is not good for your teeth. And then clench is a noun. Next is clep. Yep, just clep. C-L-E-P-E. Verb from before the 12th century. It is transitive, and it is archaic. And sorry, I have an itch on my eye, so I'm going to scratch that. Scritchy, scratchy on the eyeball. All right. It is archaic. The synonyms are name and call. Clep. Let's see. So much information. It could also be spelled with a Y at the beginning. Y clept? I don't understand that. The etymology from Old English, klipion, which means to speak or call, akin to the Old Friss? Old Friss? What is Friss? Frisian. I don't, that's some sort of language. Where were we? Old Frisian klepa, which means to ring. That's like, I'm calling you, ringing you up. Klep. All right, next is clepsydra. Clepsydra. C-L-E-P-S-Y-D-R-A. Clepsydra. Noun from 1580. The synonym is water clock. It is a clock in the water. It is a clock made of water. It is a clock that, what? I don't know. I don't get it. It is from Greek. Clepsydra, from kleptine, which means to steal, plus hydor, which means water, stealing water. And there's more at klept prefix, which we know, kleptomaniac, they like to steal stuff, and also the synonym water. Water clock. I still don't understand what this is. We have to wait till the W's to find out what it is. Next is clear story. We learned about this a little bit 2 episodes ago. So it's spelled C-L-E-R-E story or C-L-E-A-R story. Noun from the 15th century. 1, an outside wall of a room or building that rises above an adjoining roof and contains windows. Do I have to find an example of this? Maybe. Number 2, the synonym is gallery. That's all I got for you, pretty much. Next is clergy, noun from the 13th century. 1, a group ordained to perform pastoral or sacerdotal functions in a Christian church. And I'm not familiar with that word. Sacerdotal? S-A-C-E-R-D-O-T-A-L. Number 2, the official or sacerdotal class of a non-Christian religion. Next is clergyman, noun from 1577, a member of the clergy. Clergy person, noun from 1976, a member of the clergy. Clergy woman, noun from 1673, a woman who is a member of the clergy. So the man was 1577, the woman was 1673, and the person was 1976. Just shows you how the idea of gender has changed over the years. And our last word is cleric. Cleric. C-L-E-R-I-C. Noun from 1621. A member of the clergy. That's it. So the words today were cleft lip, cleft palate, cleidoic. What was that? That was the egg thing. Cleistogamous, the little flowers. Clematis. That is what is it? It's from the buttercup family. Clemency, clement, clementine, clench, clep, clepsydra, clear story, clergy, clergyman, clergy person, clergy woman, and cleric. Well, I was definitely confused by water clock, which is the clepsydra. Maybe I'll pick clementine as the word of the episode because I like those. They're very tasty. Clementine. What is that word? Clementine. Nope, I don't know if that's it. Why can't I think of that song with the word Clementine in it? I would sing it if I knew it. Clementine, Clementine, we're gonna peel the peel from the clementine, and then I'm gonna eat it 'cause it doesn't have a lot of seeds. Clementine, Clementine. All right. In Iraqi Kurdistan, it is Ceasefire Day, which was the end of the Iran-Iraq War. It is the earliest day on which a bunch of holidays can fall. Argentina, Children's Day. Zimbabwe, Defense Forces Day. Brazil and Samoa, Father's Day. Zimbabwe, Heroes Day. Turkmenistan, Melon Day or Melon Day. In Russia, Sports Day. All right. It is in Mongolia and Taiwan. It is Father's Day. There's a whole... it's 8/8, August 8th. Baba Day. Baba is Mandarin for father. And 8/8. Baba is also 8/8. So August 8th is 8/8. There we go. It's Father's Day. It is Happiness Happens Day. In Sweden, it is Names Day of the Queen. In Tanzania, it is Nain Nain Day. Or could it be Nane Nane Day? I don't know. Ukraine has Signal Troops Day. Let's see. We said that in Sweden it is Crayfish Festival or Crawfish Festival. In Germany it is Peace Festival. That's a good Peace Festival. Fun holidays for today. Yes, we are on August 8th. Gay Uncle's Day. It's also called Gunkle's Day. Oh, that's a funny combination of words. But yes, gay uncles, they're out there. Celebrate the gay uncles or the gunkles. But also, is there a gay aunts day? Would it be lesbian aunt day or gay aunts day? Would it be Gantz day? Would it be lesbance day? I don't know. I'm just making stuff up. But there should be. It is Melon Day, National CBD Day, National Dollar Day, National Frozen Custard Day, National Zucchini Day, Odie Day. That's Odie from Garfield, I believe. Yes. It is Scottish Wildcat Day. It's also, probably because it's Zucchini Day, it is Sneak Some Zucchini Onto Your Neighbor's Porch Day. Highly specific and strange. Spirit of 45 Day. I think that's 1945. It is the date to create. And it shows a picture of some Legos. So go make something today, maybe out of Legos. Maybe today is the day that I will put together my very cool and large Lego Wall-E, which I have been putting off because I want to do something creative and clever with it, but I haven't come up with anything yet. And then finally, I think this is the last fun holiday. Let's just double check these. It's also Dying to Know Day. I think that's it. It is International Cat Day. The internet is going to go crazy cat happy today. So yeah, International Cat Day. All right. We have finished page 230. I think that's all I gotta say. I could tell you about the things I've been watching, but whatever, I don't think you care about that. Thank you very much for listening, and until next time, this is Spencer dispensing information. Goodbye. Good morning, word nerds. How are you doing? Thank you for turning on this podcast yet again. I am here to teach you some things. Actually, I'm here to teach myself some things, and then maybe you will learn some things as well through me talking. Top of page 231, the first word is clerical, Clerical. It's actually starting at the bottom of 230. Adjective from 1592, one of, relating to, or characteristic of the clergy. And we will be getting to clergy. No, we must have read that in the last episode. It's been a week since I recorded. I can't remember. Number 2, of or relating to a clerk. Clerical can be clergy or clerk. Clerically is an adverb. Second form of clerical, and there's no etymology. So second form of clerical, noun from 1605. 1, a member of the clergy. 2, the synonym is clericalist. Clericalist. That'll be in a few words from now. 3, synonym is clerk. And 4 is plural, clerical garments. Next is clerical collar, noun from 1948, a narrow, stiffly upright white collar worn buttoned at the back of the neck by members of the clergy. I suspect we have all seen this collar. Next is clericalism, noun from 1864, a policy of maintaining or increasing the power of a religious hierarchy. Next is clericalist, noun from 1881, one who favors maintained or increased ecclesiastical power and influence. Next is, this is interesting, clerihew. Clerihew. It is spelled Clerihew. Clerihew. Noun from 1928, a light verse quatrain rhyming AABB and usually dealing with a person named in the initial rhyme. Okay, so this is from Edmund Clerihew Bentley, who was an English writer and died in 1956. English, I assume that's British and not American English. With the name Edmund Clerihew Bentley, he's not American. So this is a quatrain. So there's 4 lines. They rhyme AABB. So the first 2 lines rhyme, then the second 2 lines rhyme with a different rhyme, and usually deals with the person named in the initial rhyme. So would that be that the person's name is in the rhyme in the A's? It's so it's the end of the line, or is their name just in there somewhere? I'm assuming that their name actually rhymes. And why is it named Clerihew and not Bentley? Was Bentley already taken by the car? Was it being used somewhere else? And I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'll find a link to this person and you can learn more about it. Next is clerisy. Clerisy. Noun from 1818. The synonym is intelligentsia. Here in Chicago, there is a coffee brewer company called Intelligentsia. This is from Greek clerici, which means clergy, from the Latin clericus, which means cleric. All right, next is clerk. First form, noun from before the 12th century. I don't know. I want the movie Clerks to be listed in here somewhere, but I don't think it will be. That would be the plural form, clerks. If you are an adult of some kind, you should go watch that movie. All right, clerk. Number 1, the synonym is cleric. 2 is archaic. The synonym is scholar. 3A, an official responsible. Let's look at this ahead of time. There's some parentheses which I shall skip. An official responsible for correspondence records, and accounts, and vested with specified powers or authority. So, the official who was responsible, they could be in a government agency, and the powers or authority that they have would be to issue writs as ordered by a court, as in city clerk. 3B, one employed to keep records or accounts or to perform general office work. 3C, one who works at a sales or service counter. Clerkship is a noun. The etymology says this is from Anglo-French clerk, from Old English cleric or clerk. Let's see, from the Lower Greek klerikos, from the Greek kleros, which means lot or inheritance. And what? That is in allusion to Deuteronomy 18:2. And then it also, kleros also means stick of wood, and is akin to the how many different ways can I screw up the word Greek in this podcast? Also akin to the Greek clan, which means to break, and there's more at the word classed with a C. All right, second form of clerk is an intransitive verb from 1551, to act or work as a clerk. They be clerkin'. Next is clerkly. Yeah, clerkly. This is an adjective from the 15th century. Let's see. Number 1, of, relating to, or characteristic of a clerk, as in clerkly duties. And if you are a clerk at some retail store and you're going about your responsibilities, you can say, I am performing my clerkly duties. And then the other person that you're talking to will say, why did you just say that? And if you're not talking to anybody, you can just say it to yourself. Number 2 is archaic. The synonym is scholarly. Clerkly is an adverb. It's also the word, which is an adjective. So clerkly is an adjective and an adverb. Next is Cleveland Bay. Cleveland is the city with a capital C. This whole thing is 2 words. Noun from 1796, any of a breed of large, strong horses of English origin that are uniformly bay with black legs, mane, and tail. That horse, that's my bay. No, this is spelled differently. It is B-A-Y. I feel like when we came across the word bay, I remember being confused about that. Like, is it a color? I'll have to post a picture. This is from Cleveland, the former district in North Yorkshire, England. So it is not the Ohio city. Maybe there's some other cities in the states that are called Cleveland, but no, this one was in North Yorkshire, England. Next is clever. There's some synonym information. You know how much I love the synonym information. Clever, adjective from circa 1595. 1A, skillful or adroit in using the hands or body. Synonym is nimble, as in clever fingers. 1B, mentally quick and resourceful, as in a clever young lawyer. 2, marked by wit or ingenuity, as in a clever solution, also as in a clever idea. Number 3 is a dialect. So 3A, the synonym is good. I don't know which dialect this is. It doesn't tell me. And then 3B, easy to use or handle. Cleverish is an adjective. Cleverly is an adverb. And cleverness is a noun. This is from Middle English. Cliver. It's spelled like Cliver, but I don't know how to pronounce it. That is perhaps of Scandinavian origin, akin to the Danish dialect clover with a K, and the O has a slash through it. I think that's the O that they use in Danish. I don't know how to pronounce that O. Clover. That means alert or skillful. And the synonym information. Clever, adroit, cunning, ingenious, mean having or showing practical wit or skill in contriving. Clever stresses physical or mental quickness, deftness, or great aptitude, as in a person clever with horses. Maybe those horses are Cleveland Bay horses. Adroit, A-D-R-O-I-T, often implies a skillful use of expedients to achieve one's purpose in spite of difficulties, as in an adroit negotiator. I think I'm saying that word correctly. Cunning implies great skill in constructing or creating, as in a filmmaker cunning in his use of special effects. Ingenious suggests the power of inventing or discovering a new way of accomplishing something, as in an ingenious software engineer. And then another synonym in addition to all this is the word intelligent. And our last word is clevis, C-L-E-V-I-S, noun from 1592. And we just have the number 3 definition for the word shackle as a synonym. This is from the earlier clevy, so I guess it used to be the clevy with no S, perhaps of Scandinavian origin akin to the Old Norse, how do you say this word? Klufa. That's what I'll say. That means to split. And yeah, I think we learned about that a couple episodes ago. And there's more at the word cleave. Yep, that's where we learned about it. All right, so the words today were clerical, clerical collar, clericalism, clericalist. Have to emphasize these so much. Clerihue, clericy, clerk, clerkly, Cleveland Bay, clever, and clevis. I am a little torn between clerihue and clever as the word of the episode. I like being clever, although I'm not clever, but sometimes I have moments of cleverness, which I really like. But maybe I shall pick clerihue as the word of the episode. C-L-E-R-I-H-E-W, just because it's a little bit different. It's more fun. It's a fun word. And it's a very specific rhyming thing. And, you know, I think I like, I mean, other than the whole thing about a person's name, other than that, I like the rhyming stuff. Yeah. How do I sing a song about a clerihue? If I had prepared ahead of time, I could have put a person's name and actually wrote 4 lines, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to say, clerihue, it rhymes with pew, 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 pew. All right, let's talk about the holidays. In Russia, it is Battle of Gengut Day. The United Nations has International Day of the World's Indigenous Peoples. Yeah, we've seen, you know, different countries have their own National Indigenous Peoples Day, but this one is for all of the indigenous people around the world. So that is a good thing to celebrate because, I mean, I don't know how many cases where like they weren't murdered, and I'm at a loss for words at how terrible indigenous people have been treated. But yes, I mean, they all over the world, indigenous people have not been treated well because, you know, the other people came in and messed things up. But I'm sure there's some place where, probably not. I don't trust humans. In Brussels and Leuven in Belgium, it's Mayboom. It is National Day, which celebrates the independence of Singapore from Malaysia. In Canada, it is National Peacekeepers Day. I'm skipping a few things because they think they're in the fun holidays. Let's see. Islamic New Year starts. In Singapore, National Day, we said that. In India, it is, Quit India Day. India is celebrating Quit India Day today? That's odd. In Ecuador, it is Independence Day. And let's go through this probably long list of fun holidays. Book Lovers Day. It is a big, big holiday, I think, for book lovers because lots of people love books, and we love books. I don't read a whole lot of books, but I do love books. I love having that physical book, and, you know, especially if it's an old book, they're very cool. It is International Co-working Day. It's National Hand-Holding Day. Unless there's somebody you trust, I'm not gonna be holding anybody's hands. It's National Polka Day. And today I urge you all to listen to all of Weird Al's polkas because they're awesome, and you may have never heard them before. And there's a picture of somebody playing the accordion. It's National Rice Pudding Day. It's National Veep Day. I assume that's celebrating the Vice President, Kamala Harris. It is Victory Day, also VJ Day. And let's see, anything else that we missed? I think there were. And then finally, I think there are lots of countries actually celebrating this. It's National Women's Day. So I guess it's not International Women's Day. In certain countries, it is National Women's Day. So that is good. Again, National Book Lovers Day. So we are going to end the episode there. I will throw in just a quick little thing here at the end. I know I have talked about a little bit backwards talking here in this podcast every once in a while, and I went ahead and I started making a very short series of videos on YouTube where I teach you how to say some things backwards. So I've posted 2 at the time of recording, which is middle of July, and I've recorded 3. And I'm starting a list. So if you have any requests of what you would like me to teach you how to say backwards, you can email me at dictionarypod@gmail.com, or you can, comment on a thing in YouTube. I'll post the links in the show notes. You know how that goes. It's just a fun thing for me to do. Works my brain. Thank you very much for listening, and until next time, this is Spencer dispensing information. Goodbye. Hello, word nerds. Welcome to the dictionary. This is my podcast. It's the place where this guy reads all the stuff. All right. The first word in this episode is clue. CLEW. Clue. I think that's how you would say it. It's the first form, noun from before the 12th century. 1. A ball of thread, yarn, or cord. That is called a clue. Number 2, we have the number 1 definition for the word clue, CLUE. What is that? What will it be? We don't know. We haven't gotten there yet, but it's coming up. 3A, a lower corner or only the after corner of a sail. So those who can sail know this word. 3B, a metal loop attached to the lower corner of a sail. 3C is plural, a combination of lines by which a hammock is suspended. Maybe this is related to the ball of thread, yarn, or cord, because it's the metal loop, the lines. I don't know. Maybe. Let's see. This is from Middle English clue, from Old English cluen, akin to the Old High German kliwa, which means ball, and the Sanskrit glauh. Glauh. Glauh? How do you say that word? That means lump. Lump. Second form of clue, transitive verb from the 15th century. Yes, this is it's all very similar to the last one. 1, to roll into a ball. Now, if I were to roll myself into a ball, would I be cluing? Would I be a clue? Number 2, the synonym is clue, CLUE. And then 3, to haul, a sail, up or down by ropes through the clues. You are using the clues to clue the sail. Did they say that? Clue the sail! Next is how do you say this word? You could say cliche, you could say cliche, or you could say cliche. You don't have the long E in there, cliche. I don't even know how I say it. That is such a cliche. Cliche. You could spell it, well, it's spelled CLICHE. You could put an accent on the E if you so wish. This is a noun from 1882. 1, a trite phrase or expression. Also, the idea expressed by it. 2, a hackneyed theme, characterization, or situation. 3, something that has become overly familiar or commonplace. And the example of this something is a menu item. That seems like a very odd example to me. Why would a menu item become overly familiar or commonplace. I don't know. I mean, it's not like it doesn't make sense, but that seems, I feel like there would have been a more better example than a menu item. I don't know. My brain is not connecting with that. Cliché is also an adjective. This is French, and it literally means printer's stereotype. Printer's stereotype, from the verb clicher, which means to stereotype. All right, so I have more questions. Maybe you have answers. If you do, please let me know. So, we have the word stereotype. You know, there are stereotypes of groups of people usually, and you know, that's a thing that we do. We stereotype people, but for a printer, the word type is in stereotype. So, is there a physical thing called a stereotype that printers use? This is kind of blowing my brain. And then it's the word for that is cliche, and then how did that become the thing that's a trite phrase, thing that gets used all the time? I don't know. This word just got way more fascinating than I ever thought. Yeah, all right, cliche. Next is cliched. So there's a D at the end. This is an adjective from 1928. 1, marked by or abounding in cliches. That thing is so cliched. Number 2, the synonym is hackneyed. I think that's how you would say it. Not hackneyed. Hackneyed. As in a cliched phrase. I think I have a lot of cliched phrases. Next is click. First form, verb, from 1581, starting with transitive. 1, to strike, move, or produce with a click, as in, clicked his heels together. Number 2, to select, especially in a computer interface, by pressing a button on a control device, as a mouse. I don't think I'm going to use the word mouse anymore. I think I'm just going to say, I'm using my control device. Yes, we love clicking on buttons. Intransitive, number 1, to make a click. 2A, to fit or agree exactly. 2B, to fit together. Hit it off. There's a colon in between those. To fit together, colon, hit it off. As in, they did not click as friends. Well, then they shouldn't be friends. Let's see. 2C, to function smoothly. 2D, the synonym is succeed, as in a movie that clicks. 3, to select something by clicking, and this is often used with the word on, as in click on the icon. Click on the icon. Clickable is an adjective. It's so good when you find somebody that you click with. Second form of click is a noun from 1611. 1A, a slight, sharp noise. Click. 1B, a speech sound in some languages made by enclosing air between two stop articulations of the tongue, enlarging the enclosure to rarefy the air, and suddenly opening the enclosure. So I guess this would be that. Well, I mean, that's the only way that I know how to make a click. But I don't know if I'm doing what the description said, because it didn't make sense to me. Number 2, the synonym is detent? D-E-T-E-N-T. Detent. Is that you're taken down a tent? No, I think that's something else that I don't know. 3, an instance of clicking, as in a mouse click. Next is click beetle. 2 words, noun from 1835. Any of a family of beetles able to right themselves with a click when inverted by flexing the articulation between the prothorax and mesothorax, or mesothorax, probably mesothorax. This is fascinating. I didn't know. I mean, I've probably heard of click beetles, but I probably just assumed that they made a clicking sound. I didn't realize that they can click the area between those parts of the thorax, and they can flip themselves over. But, you know, clearly that probably must make a click sound, so maybe if I feel so motivated, I'll find some audio of a beetle clicking and put it here. And the family name is Elateridae. Elateridae. Next is clicker, noun from 1985. The synonym is the number 2 definition for the word remote control. Next is click stop, 2 words, noun from 1950. A turntable control device that engages with a definite click at specific settings. And the examples of this turntable control device would be for a camera diaphragm opening. A turntable control device as for a camera diaphragm opening that engages with a definite click at specific settings. I'm not entirely sure what that all means. Next is click through, 2 words with a hyphen, noun from 1996. An instance of clicking on a link on a web page, as in click-through rate, and then also the volume of click-throughs on a link. This is something that people who have certain websites like to keep track of. They want to see how many clicks you're clicking on their page, and they like to have lots and lots of clicks. Next is client, noun from the 14th century, one that is under the protection of another. Synonym is dependent. 2a, a person who engages the professional advice or services of another, as in a lawyer's clients. 2b, the synonym is customer, as in hotel clients. 2c, a person served by or utilizing the services of a social agency, as in a welfare client. 2d, a computer in a network that uses the services provided by a server. And the example of these services would be access to files or shared peripherals. And 3, the synonym is client state. Clientage is a noun. Cliental, that's an adjective. And clientless is an adjective. Oh, you got no clients. Why do you have no clients? You are clientless. Let's see. This is from, I'm just going to pare the etymology down. Latin clinare, which means to lean. And there's more at the word lean. Next is clientele. So it's client with an ELE at the end. Clientele. You could also say clientele. Why would you say clientele or clientele? Clientele. All right, I guess some people say that. This is a noun from circa 1587, a body of clients, as in a shop that caters to an exclusive clientele. This is French clientele from Latin clientela. That's good for that. Next is client state, 2 words, noun from 1918, a country that is economically, politically, or militarily dependent on another country. They are the client to the other country, which are sometimes called states. And our last word, it probably would have made more sense to put this word in the next episode, but it's already a long episode tomorrow, so I'm going to say this word here. It's only a couple of lines. It is the word cliff. C-L-I-F-F. Cliff. Filk. Cliff. Noun from before the 12th century. A very steep, vertical, or overhanging face of rock, earth, or ice. And a synonym is precipice. Cliffy is an adjective. This is from Middle English cliff with 1 F, akin to the Old High German klepp, which means cliff, from Old Norse cliff, K-L-I-F. Well, I think that was all the words. So they were clue, cliche, cliched, click, click beetle, clicker, click stop, click through, client, clientele, client state, and cliff. I'm going to pick cliche as the word of the episode. And in case anybody wants to know, that accent is down on the left and up on the right. I don't know. Cliches are cliched for a reason. It sounds cliche to say this phrase, whatever that phrase is, but there's usually a reason, because we say it a lot, but there's a good reason for that. Cliche, 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 cliche. I think I'm just going to do really simple songs like that because that's all my brain can do. All right. Holiday time in Argentina. It is Argentine Air Force Day. It is the Declaration of Independence of Quito. That is spelled Quito. That is in Ecuador. It is International Biodiesel Day. In Indonesia, it is National Veterans Day. What else? Let's see. I think those are on the fun holiday list. In India, it is Muharram and Ashura. And let's read the fun holidays. International Vlogging Day. So all the people in all the world have to do some vlogging today. It says Islamic New Year. So I don't know if it was yesterday or today. It's depending on the website you go to, it's going to say one or the other. Okay, it's National Duran Duran Appreciation Day. Maybe we should put in a clip. I'm going to save those for the end. It's National Shapewear Day. Not sure what that is. Wearing clothes that shape your body, I guess. National Spoil Your Dog. If I had a dog, I'd be spoiling it every day. It's Smithsonian Day. Go check out the Smithsonian Museums in Washington, D.C. Okay, we've got 3. National Lazy Day. Of course, these are all in the States. I will try to be lazy today on August 10th. We'll see if I can make that happen. I'm not usually very lazy. It's National S'mores Day. I love s'mores. We actually have some vegan marshmallows that we are going to roast tonight. I'm going to make some, at least I'm going to roast some marshmallows and eat them by themselves. I might be combining them with chocolate and graham crackers. At the very least, probably chocolate, because I don't really need the graham crackers. I'm totally fine with just marshmallows and chocolate. That's all I need in life. And finally, it is World Lion Day. Yes, the animal, the lion. I went to, this is not a thing that I do ever, but I went to some galleries last night with my dad. There's some galleries in a certain area in Chicago, and I guess the first Friday of every month they open it up to the public, and you just go around and hang out and look at the art and talk to people, and maybe they've got wine and whatever, and just see the cool new art. And there was this one photograph of a lion that was massive, and it was just, it wasn't like, there wasn't anything particularly different or interesting about it other than it was a very cool large black and white photo of a clearly like almost disheveled lion. It had been through some stuff. Maybe it was on the older side. I think one part of its lip was hanging down further than the other side. I don't know. I could have just stared at that thing for hours. Yeah, I've always loved lions. When I was a freshman in high school, I had long hair and glasses, and somebody said, "You look like a wise lion," because I kind of had a mane. All right, I think that's it for this episode. Thank you very much for listening, and until next time, this is Spencer dispensing information. Goodbye. Hello, word nerds. Welcome to the Dictionary Podcast. The first word in this episode is cliff dweller. 2 words, noun from 1881. Number 1 is often capitalized, the C and the D. 1A, a member of a prehistoric American Indian people of the southwestern U.S. who built their homes on rock ledges or in the natural recesses of canyon walls and cliffs. When I was about 10 or 11, we went on a road trip with another family we went down through to Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, and then back up around. I don't remember where exactly we were, but in one of those places in some national park, there were places where people used to live. It was in cliffs and very high up, and there were some ladders, and it was very cool. I've got some pictures. I don't know. I was young, so I didn't really appreciate it as well as I should have, but it was a very cool place to be. Okay. 1B, a member of any cliff Cliff-dwelling people. 2, a resident of a large, usually metropolitan apartment building. Yeah, I mean, you could call those people cliff dwellers because the buildings kind of make a cliff. Cliff dwelling is a noun. Next is cliffhanger, 2 words with a hyphen, noun from circa 1931. 1. An adventure serial or melodrama, especially one presented in installments, each ending in suspense. Yeah, I can't think of a specific show, but I know that at the end of lots of shows back in the day, they would end on a cliffhanger. What will happen to this guy? What? Tune in next time. I think probably Batman did that a lot. Let's see. Number 2, a contest whose outcome is in doubt up to the very end. And then broadly, a suspenseful situation. Cliff hanging is an adjective. Next is cliff swallow, 2 words, noun from 1825, a colonial swallow of the New World with a pale buff rump, a pale buff rump, and dark throat patch that builds mud nests resembling jugs, especially under eaves and on cliffs. I have seen some of these. There's Northwestern University is near here, and they have some buildings that have always had these cliff swallows living under them. They build their nests right under a thing. There's like a wall and then a part that juts out over the wall, and there's a perfect place for them to put their nests. The scientific name is Petrochelidon piranata. And there's a picture of a cliff swallow. It's just got some various patterns and colors, and I see the dark throat patch, but I don't see the pale buff rump. There's no pale buff rump in this picture. All right, next is climacteric. Climacteric. First form, adjective from 1581. 1. Constituting or relating to a climacteric, which I'm guessing is the second form. Number 2, synonyms are critical and crucial. And let's see, the etymology from Greek klimakterikos, from klimakter, which is critical point, or literally rung of a ladder. That is what climacter means, rung of a ladder. From climax, the Greek climax, which means ladder. Maybe we'll learn more about that later. Then the second form of climacteric, I want to say climacteric, but it's climacteric. Noun from circa 1630. 1. A major turning point or a critical stage. Number 2A. Sorry for the yawns. 2A, we have the number 1 definition for the word menopause. Yes, that is a turning point, a critical stage in a woman's life. Number 2B, andropause. And yes, I think we learned that that's for men. It's a similar but different thing. Not as physically changing as in a woman, I'm guessing. But yes, I mean, men's go through the hormone changes as well. And number 3, the marked and sudden rise in the respiratory rate of fruit just prior to full ripening. So that is the turning point, critical stage change that fruit goes through. It's the climacteric. All right, next is climactic. Climactic, adjective from 1870, of relating to or constituting a climax, as in the film's climactic scene. That is the scene that has the climax of the film. Climactically is an adverb. Next is climate, noun from the 14th century. 1. A region of the earth having specified climatic conditions. These words are very similar. Climactic, climatic. It's confusing, but this is talking about the climate. Yes, There is an so each area of the world has a climate, but this is different from weather. Weather is what is happening at that moment in that area, but in general, it has a climate. Year round, it has a general climate, and it is changing. So we have 2A, the average course or condition of the weather at a place, usually over a period of years, as exhibited by temperature, wind velocity, and precipitation. So it's the average weather over a period of years. But the weather is what's happening at that moment. 2B, the prevailing set of conditions indoors. So there's parentheses indoors. The prevailing set of conditions indoors. And then the example would be temperature and humidity. As in a climate-controlled office. We have a couple plants, and one of them needs some extra humidity. So we have started to run the humidifier, so there's some extra humidity in the air for the plant to thrive. It doesn't help that our cat keeps on chomping on the leaves, but it is non-toxic, so don't you worry. Number 3, the prevailing influence or environmental conditions characterizing a group or period. Synonym is atmosphere, as in a climate of fear. The etymology, this is from Greek klima or klima, which means inclination or latitude or climate, from klinine, which means to lean. And there's more at the word lean. Next is, so that was climate. Now we have climatic, adjective from circa 1828. It sounds like an old school robot tool kitchen appliance, the climatic. 1, of or relating to climate. 2, resulting from or influenced by the climate rather than the soil. And then compare to the number 2 definition for the word edific or edific. EDAPHIC. Something about the soil. Climatically is an adverb. Next is climatic climax. So what is this? It's combining words climate and climax. Climatic climax. Noun from 1916. The one of the ecological climaxes possible in a particular climatic area whose stability is directly due to the influence of climate. And then compared to edific climax. So are the words climax and climate related etymologically? Yes, they might be. Trying to look at this a little bit. I don't know. Maybe, probably, but I don't know. Just the normal words. It doesn't really make much sense to me, but let's move on. Let's read. Next is climatology. Climatology, noun from 1842. The science that deals with climates and their phenomena. Climatological is an adjective, climatologically is an adverb, and climatologist is a noun, the one who studies climates and their phenomena. And our last word is climax. So maybe we'll learn. CLIMAX, noun from circa 1550. 1, a figure of speech in which a series of phrases or sentences is arranged in ascending order of rhetorical forcefulness. I feel like I need to see an example of this sentence, this series of phrases. 2A, the highest point. Synonym is culmination, as in the climax of a distinguished career. I hope the climax of my career is literally right before I die. 2B, the point of highest dramatic tension or a major turning point in the action, as of a play. Plays, TV shows, movies, books, all of those things. Anything that has some sort of story, there's probably that highest dramatic tension point. And that would be the climax. Also, 2C, the synonym is just orgasm. That's another form of climax. 2D, again, we're seeing the synonym menopause. 3, a relatively stable ecological stage or community, especially of plants, that is achieved through successful adaptation to an environment, and then especially the final stage in ecological succession. And then finally, another synonym is the word summit. Climaxless is a word that I guess is used enough that they had to put in here. That is an adjective. That is something that has no climax. A story that has no climax. It's not much of a story. It's just a series of events. Climaxless. That's a hard word to say. And the etymology says, yes, this is from the Greek climax, which means ladder, which we learned. Where did we learn that? So we learned that, rung of ladder, that was climacteric, and that was all about a climax. But how and maybe why it's related to the word climate, I'm still not sure of. Or is it just a coincidence that climatic climax is combining two words that are very, very similar? All right, so the words in this episode today were cliff dweller, cliffhanger, cliff swallow, climacteric, climactic, climate, climatic, climatic, climax, climatology, and climax. I will pick climate as the word of the episode because, hello, we are dealing with some serious climate change throughout the world. The climate of the world has been changing over the decades in not a good way, and this is real, and this is probably the thing that we should worry about the most. Honestly, I mean, there's a possibility that an asteroid will hit our Earth, but the chances of that are pretty small, and we can see very specifically with the data that climate change is happening, and it is very obviously messing up our environment with all sorts of natural disasters that are happening more frequently than they used to and are worse and larger than they ever used to be. And this is a very, very, very serious problem. So how do we fix this? We get countries and companies to change their methods, to change their ways. If you are connected to any of these countries and companies, maybe you should say something. Something else that you can do is by changing what you demand. If you are supporting these companies that make things that are really bad for the climate, then maybe you should go support a different company. And you can also do things. You can like buy solar panels, buy electric cars. I know a lot of people don't have those possibilities, like me. So do what you can. Do some research. Another thing that you can do, hey, who knew that we were going to get this deep? Another thing that you can do is change your eating habits. Yes, things like meat and dairy are much worse for climate change and being bad to the climate. So make some changes in your diet. And there's so many other things that I can't even think of at the moment. So let's sing a song about climate. Climate, I wish the climate would stay pretty regular, but it is changing. All right, so let's talk about the holidays. In Pakistan, it is Flag Day. It is Independence Day in Chad. In Japan, it is Mountain Day. I would love to go see the mountains of Japan. What else? No major holidays in the U.S., this claims. In Latvia, it is Day of the Latvian Freedom Fighters. Hard to say. In Mexico, it is Nutritionist Day. And then our fun holidays. Annual Medical Checkup Day. I actually need to go do that. It is Ingersoll Day. I feel like I've heard this word Ingersoll. There's a picture of a galaxy. Why is that? Let us find out. Celebrates Robert Ingersoll, a 19th century orator who advocated for free thought, the conviction that reason and science, not religion, should shape beliefs. It goes on, but I like that. Ingersoll Day. It is National Raspberry Bombay Day. Is it Bomb or Bombay? But either way, it's about raspberries. Oh, relatedly, it's National Raspberry Tart Day. It's Play in the Sand Day. If you are in the northern hemisphere, you can probably do that, but you got to go find a beach. Luckily, I got a beach nearby, so maybe I will go play in the sand. It is Presidential Joke Day, so only you can tell jokes about the president. It's Son and Daughter Day. So, hey, parents, celebrate your sons and daughters, your kids, whatever they are, celebrate them, because it's not like you're celebrating them all the other days. And it is World Calligraphy Day, so go learn some calligraphy. Anything else? And it's Royal National Agricultural Show Day. Royal National Agricultural Show Day? What does that even mean? I don't know. Not going to worry about it. Thank you very much for listening, and until next time, this is Spencer dispensing information. Goodbye. Hello, word nerds. Welcome to the dictionary. If you enjoy this podcast, I would love it if you wrote a review on Apple Podcasts and probably other places as well. And subscribe. And what else? Share this with other people. Let other people know that you are learning a lot from this podcast. If you want to contact me in any way, you can do that by emailing me at dictionarypod@gmail.com. I am on Instagram and Twitter at dictionarypod. All of the information is in the show notes. You can leave me a voicemail if you've got something to say. Whatever you want to say, you can say to me in any of these communication forms, plus Google Voice. You'll leave a voicemail, and if I like it, I'll put it in an episode, and the phone number is in the show notes. I think that's all I got to say. The first word in this episode, it is the end of page 231. It's the second form of climax. This one is a verb from 1835. There is one transitive definition and one intransitive definition. So, transitive is first. To bring to a climax, as in, climaxed his boxing career with a knockout. Well, he knocked the person out, and that was the climax of his career, and then it's just all downhill from there. And then intransitive says, to come to a climax, as in a riot climaxing in the destruction of several houses. That is a big messed up riot. Destroying houses? Yep. All right, next is climb, C-L-I-M-B. Why did I pause before saying the letter B? I don't know. C-L-I-M-B. First form verb from before the 12th century, 1A. It's a big block of text, so I have to put my fingers under the lines so I don't lose my place. To go upward with gradual or continuous progress. Synonyms are rise and ascend, as in watching the smoke climb. 1B, to increase gradually, as in prices are continuing to climb. 1C, the slope upward, as in a climbing path. 2A, to go upward or raise oneself, especially by grasping or clutching with the hands, as in climbed aboard the train. All aboard, climb aboard. 2B is talking about a plant. To ascend in growth, as by twining. 3, to go about or down, usually by grasping or holding with the hands, as in climb down the ladder. You can go up or you can down when you climb. 4, to get into or out of clothing, usually with some haste or effort, as in the firefighters climbed into their clothes. I'm trying to think if I have heard this word used with clothes before. I'm climbing out of my clothes, climbing into my clothes. All right. By the way, those were all intransitive. Now we have transitive. 1, to go upward on or along, to the top of or over, as in climb a hill. 2, to draw or pull oneself up, over, or to the top of by using hands and feet, as in children climbing the tree. I need to go climb more trees. 3, to grow up or over, as in ivy climbing the wall. To grow up or over. Okay, climbable is an adjective. This is from Old English, Klimban, I don't know how to say that. Probably akin to the Old English clifion, which means to adhere, and there's more at the word cleave. Second form of climb, noun from circa 1587. 1, a place where climbing is necessary to progress. 2. The act or an instance of climbing. Synonyms are rise and ascent. Next is climb down. 2 words. Intransitive verb from 1864. Synonym is back down. Oh, you better climb down. And then climb down, 1 word, is a noun. Next is climber. But there's a B in there. It looks like it's climber. No, it's climber. Noun from the 15th century. 1A, one that climbs or helps in climbing. 1B, a vine or twining plant that readily grows up a support or over other plants. That readily grows up a support or over other plants. The examples of this vine or twining plant would be rose or sweet pea. 2, one who attempts to gain a superior social or business position. Next is climbing iron. 2 words. Noun from 1857. A steel framework with spikes attached that may be affixed to one's boot or boots for climbing, as a pole or tree. So it's a steel framework that has spikes, and you can affix your boot to the spike so it's easier for you to go up. Next is climbing wall. 2 words, noun from 1985. A wall specially designed for climbing and often built to simulate a rocky surface. I am trying to think if I have actually ever done one of these. I don't think I have. I think maybe like I put my hands and feet on like 1 or 2 of them way at the bottom, but I never got in the harness. I don't think I ever did that, and I think that would be kind of fun. It's good exercise too. Next is climb again, but there's no B, there's an E, C-L-I-M-E, noun from the 14th century, and the synonym is climate, as in traveled to warmer climes. Yes, this gets used sometimes. Next is clin, C-L-I-N. It is an abbreviation for clinical. Next is a suffix, clinal or clinal. How would you say this? Probably clinal. C-L-I-N-A-L. Adjective, suffix, and it means sloping. As in the example, synclinal. Synclinal. I don't know how to say that word. But this is from the Greek clinin, which means to lean. And that makes sense. It's sloping. It's leaning. All right, next is the first form of clinch. Verb from 1542, starting with transitive. 1. The synonym is the number 3 definition for the word clench. Clinch and clench. 2A, to turn over or flatten the protruding, pointed end of. And the example is a driven nail. That would be the thing that is protruding. And then also, to treat in a similar way. And the example would be a screw, a bolt, or a rivet. 2B, to fasten in this way. 3A, to make final or irrefutable. Synonym is settle. We have settled that debate, made it final, clinched it, as in, that clinched the argument. 3B, to assure the winning of, as in, scored a touchdown to clinch the game. Yay! Now we have intransitive. 1, to hold an opponent at close quarters with one or both arms. The example would be in boxing. You're hugging them, you're clinching them close. Number 2, to hold fast or firmly. Clinchingly is an adverb. It's just an alternative form of clench. Second form of clinch is a noun from 1659. 1, a fastening by means of a clinched nail, rivet, or bolt. Also, the clinched part of a nail, rivet, or bolt. 2 is archaic. The synonym is pun, P-U-N. Like the puns, the jokes that people make, they used to be called clinches? That is interesting. Have to learn more about that when we get to the word pun. 3, an act or instance of clinching in boxing. And 4, the synonym is embrace. Last word for this episode, it will go a little bit onto the next page. Clincher. C-L-I-N-C-H-E-R, noun from 1703. One that clinches, as a decisive fact, argument, act, or remark, as in, the expense was the clincher that persuaded us to give up the enterprise. And B, a tire with flanged beads fitting into the wheel rim. A tire with I don't know how to say that word. All right, so the words today were climax, climb, climb down, climber, climbing iron, climbing wall, climb, clin, clinal, clinch, and clincher. I'm not entirely sure which one I want to pick. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. I'll pick climbing wall as the word of the episode because I've never done that and I think it might be kind of fun and maybe I'll do it someday. I don't know. Climbing wall. I'm gonna put my hands on the climbing wall. I'm gonna use my hands to pull myself up on the climbing wall. And then I'm gonna put a foot on the thing and it's gonna help me climb. All right. Let's see. The holidays for today. In the UK, it is Glorious 12th. Today is August 12th, and it is glorious. In Thailand, it is National Mother's Day, or HM, the Queen Mother's birthday. In the United Nations is celebrating International Youth Day. Russia has Russian Air Force Day. Russia also has Russian Railway Troops Day. Scientology, I guess we're going to mention this, has Sea Org Day. Don't think I like that one, though. Let's see. I'll save that one for later. Anything else on this page? Now, this one, I thought that I had read it from a different page a few days ago, maybe a week ago, but it's mentioned here, so I'm just going to say it again, but I thought we already saw it. It is Black Women's Equal Pay Day. So, maybe it was a week ago, maybe it's today, maybe it should be every day. In Canada, it is Miracle Treat Day. And let's look at our fun holidays. All right, it is Baseball Fans Day. So maybe do they get to play baseball today? It is IBM PC Day. You can celebrate your IBM PC. It is International Youth Day. I think I said that. All the youths. It is National Julienne Fries Day. Only the fries that are cut julienne. It's National Middle Child Day. Yep, we can celebrate the middle childs because they are special and they get stuck in the middle. National Sewing Machine Day, Truck Driver Day, Vinyl Record Day. We're slowly growing a collection of vinyls. And it is World Elephant Day. These are really amazing creatures. They are way smarter than anybody gives them credit for. And they live a long time, and they're awesome. Let's double check this page. I think that we got them all, though. We got to scroll to August 12th. Yep, that's it. Thank you very much for listening, and until next time, this is Spencer dispensing information. Goodbye. Hello, word nerds. Welcome to this podcast called The Dictionary. Yay! The top of page 232, this is where we are. The first word is cline, C-L-I-N-E. Noun from 1938. A gradient of morphological or physiological change in a group of related organisms, usually along a line of environmental or geographic transition. Clinal is an adjective. Clinally is an adverb. Gradient, I don't know. Maybe I'll find a link if you want to learn more about that. It sounds kind of interesting. Next is the suffix cline, noun, and it means slope, as in monocline. And then didn't yesterday we had, clinal, C-L-I-N-A-L. That also means, it means slopine. So there's a difference between slopine and slope. Clinal, cline. Clinal is to sloping, as cline is to slope. Next is cling. This is the first form verb from before the 12th century. Looks like it's just intransitive. 1a, to hold together. 1b, to adhere as if glued firmly. 1c, to hold or hold on tightly or tenaciously. 2a, to have a strong emotional attachment or dependence, as in, he clung to his friends for support. Well, yeah, we all need support, so that's good. 2b, to remain or linger as if resisting complete dissipation or dispersal. As in, the odor clung to the room for hours. Ooh, that could be real bad, depending on what odor it is. Could be great. And a synonym is the word stick. Clinger is a noun, and clingy is an adjective. This is from the Old English Klingon, akin to the Old High German Klunga, which is tangled ball of thread. So yes, all of the thread pieces are clinging to each other. Second form of cling, noun from circa 1625, an act or instance of clinging. Synonym is adherence. Next is clingstone, one word, noun from 1705, any of various stone fruits with flesh that adheres strongly to the pit. And the examples would be some peaches or plums. I never knew this was a thing. I mean, I know that these stone fruits have the pits, the stones, but I didn't know that some cling more to the pits than others. I'll have to pay closer attention the next time I'm eating these. Next is clinic, noun from 1827. 1. A class of medical instruction in which patients are examined and discussed. 2. A group meeting devoted to the analysis and solution of concrete problems or to the acquiring of specific skills or knowledge, as in writing clinics, also as in golf clinics. 3a, a facility, as of a hospital, for diagnosis and treatment of outpatients. So they come in and they leave in the same day. Inpatients, they're hanging out at this hospital or whatever. So that is not what a clinic is. 3b, a group practice in which several physicians work cooperatively. 4, a facility that offers professional services or consultation, usually at discounted rates, as in a legal clinic. 5, an exemplary display or performance, as in put on a clinic in the tournament. It's like you're teaching them. It's like a writing clinic or a golf clinic, but it's not officially a clinic. This is from French, clinique, from Greek, kliniki, klinike, which is a medical practice at the sick bed, which is the feminine of klinikos, which means of a bed, from klini or kleini or klin, I don't know how to say that word, which means bed, from klinin, which means to lean or recline. And there's more at the word lean. Next is the suffix clinic. It's an adjectival suffix, which means 1, inclining or dipping, and 2, having oblique intersections of the axis or axes. In the example, having so many oblique intersections of the axes, as in triclinic. It's sort of similar to cline and clinal, inclining, sloping. It's all sort of, there's something related there. It's all connected to the Greek word, which means lean. Next is clinical, adjective from circa 1728, 1, of, relating to, or conducted in, or as if in, a clinic. As 1a, involving direct observation of the patient. 1b, based on or characterized by observable and diagnosable symptoms. 2, analytical or coolly dispassionate. Clinically is an adverb. Yeah, if you're coolly dispassionate, very clinical. It's very, it's just by the book, not warm. It's clinical. Next is clinical thermometer. Hopefully that thermometer is not coolly dispassionate. Noun from 1875. This is a surprisingly long definition. A thermometer for measuring body temperature that has a constriction in the tube above the bulb, preventing movement of the column of liquid downward once it has reached its maximum temperature, so that it continues to indicate the maximum temperature until the liquid is shaken back down into the bulb. That is a clinical thermometer. And yeah, now that I think about it, I remember my mom taking my temperature with one of these old thermometers, and then you got to shake it. If you want to take the temperature again, you got to shake it, shake it, shake it. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, and then shake it off. All right. That is a clinical thermometer. Next is clinical trial. 2 words, noun from 1946. A scientifically controlled study of the safety and effectiveness of a therapeutic agent using consenting human subjects. And the example of this therapeutic agent that is being tested is a drug or a vaccine. Lots of people last year went through a clinical trial for the vaccines, and we are grateful for their service, and also the people who made the vaccines. Next is clinician, noun from 1875. 1. A person qualified in the clinical practice of medicine, psychiatry, or psychology, as distinguished from one specializing in laboratory or research techniques or in theory. 2. A person who conducts a clinic. Next is a fun long word. It is clinicopathologic. That's not how you say that word. Clinicopathologic. I think that's it. Or clinicopathological. Adjective from 1898, relating to or concerned both with the signs and symptoms directly observable by the physician and with the results of laboratory examination. Clinicopathologically is an adverb. And our last word is the word clink, C-L-I-N-K, and I think we're just going to do the first form in this episode. Verb from the 14th century. First is intransitive, to give out a slight, sharp, short, metallic sound. Clink. And then transitive, to cause to clink. So the words today were cline, cling, clingstone, clinic, clinic, clinical, clinical thermometer, clinical trial, clinician, clinicopathologic, clink. That's it. I think I'm going to pick the word clinical trial, the words clinical trial as the words of the episode, because these are really important things that have to be done to test drugs and vaccines. And the people going through these, hopefully the scientists, the people who have made the drugs or vaccines, have done at least enough studying and testing to know that it's at least safe enough. But there are times where there are problems, and so the people going into these clinical trials, they're often risking something, but hopefully it's good and it's all good and the vaccines work, and if it's a drug, hopefully the drug that it's helping, or the condition that the drug is helping, actually helps the people with the thing that they're dealing with. So hopefully it's a win-win. Hello, all you clinical trials. No, that's not a good song. They're all the same. There's no tune. Clinical trials. They study drugs and vaccines. All right, I'm just done with that. Let's see, what are the holidays? In the Central African Republic, it is Independence Day. It is Women's Day in Tunisia. Let's check this page. I don't think there's anything on this page. Nope. And let's check this page. For some more fun holidays, Blame Someone Else Day. So you can blame someone else for something that you did, but please don't do that. National Filet Mignon Day. National Kool-Aid Day. Do you think Kool-Aid is a good drink to pair with a filet mignon? I think that would be good. Maybe a better pairing would be Prosecco, because it's also National Prosecco Day, although I don't think Prosecco or Kool-Aid goes well with filet mignon. It is Skeptics Day International. I like that. It's observed on the first Friday the 13th of the year. Is August 13th the first Friday the 13th of 2021? Do I need to scroll through my calendar to confirm this? I'm quickly scrolling. Yes, it is. Happy Friday the 13th. And then finally, this is my favorite holiday. It is International Left-Handers Day. Because I'm a lefty, and maybe some of you are lefties, and we can celebrate our day today. Woohoo! Hold up your left hand. I'm holding the microphone with my left hand, so I have to switch. Now I'm holding up my left hand. 1/10 of the population is left-handed, so, we're kind of a minority, and I love it. Thank you very much for listening, and until next time, this is Spencer dispensing information. Goodbye. Hey, word nerds, what's going on? How are you? Please let me know how you're doing. If you want to vent to me about something, that's fine. I can be a listening ear. I can give you my advice if you want it. Is that a thing that we're doing now? I don't know. All right. So the first word in this episode is the second form of clink, noun from the 15th century. It's just a clinking sound. Third form of clink, noun from 1515. One is slang, and it means a prison cell. Oh, you're going to the clink. Number 2 is also slang, and the synonyms are jail and prison. So the whole building could be the clink, but then the room that you are in, or the person is in, could also be the clink. This is probably from Clink, with a capital C, which is a prison in Southwark, London, England. I would say there's a pretty good chance that that's what it's from. Next is clinker. First form, noun from 1641. 1, a brick that has been burned too much in the kiln. Oh, that's a clinker. Number 2, stony matter fused together. And the synonym is slag. This is an alternative of the earlier word klinkard, which is a hard yellowish Dutch brick. Klinkard, by the way, is with a K. Second form of clinker, noun from 1733. Number 1 is British, and it means something first rate. Ooh, that is so good, it's a clinker. 2A, a wrong note. Like if you're playing an instrument and you hit a wrong note, that would be the clinker. Those seem kind of opposite to me. But sometimes the British like to flip words around from the way that we're used to them. And that's okay. They can do that because they have the language first. And I have to sneeze. Maybe. Probably. Is it going to happen? There we go. We found it. Now we are on 2B. A serious mistake or error. And the synonym is boner. Again, that is very opposite to the British definition. 2C, an utter failure. Wow, we're just getting worse and worse. And the synonym is flop. 2D, something of poor quality. Next is clinker built. 2 words with a hyphen. Clinker built. Adjective from 1769. Having the external planks or plates overlapping like the clapboards on a house. Next is clinkety clank. 2 words with a hyphen. Clinkety hyphen clank. Noun from 1901. A repeated, usually rhythmic clanking sound, as in the clankety clank of a loose tire chain. I just think it's hilarious that clinkety clank is in this book. Next is clinometer. Clinometer, noun from 1811, any of various instruments for measuring angles of elevation or inclination. See, there's that, the clination, cline, it's a leaning, sloping, an angle. It's all, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back the last couple episodes, hear me chatter about it. Next is the suffix clinus. I think you would say clinus and not clinus. It means having the androecium and gynoecium in a flower or flowers. Wow, there is so much going on here. I do not know what those words mean, but I think that they would be the male and female versions in a flower. Having the androecium and gynoecium in a flower or flowers. All right, so let's see. I'll just read it with the parentheses, and maybe that'll just make more sense. Having the androecium and gynoecium in a single or different flower, or two separate flowers. I don't know why I just didn't do that from the beginning. Apologies. As in the example, declinus or declinus. I'm not sure how to say that word, but I think you understand what we're talking about. Next is, you could pronounce this a few ways, clinkant, or cloncont, but it's spelled clinquant, CLINQUANT. I think I'll just try and say clinkant. First form, adjective from 1591, glittering with gold or tinsel. When I was a kid, we would put tinsel on the Christmas tree, so I guess that tree was clinkant. This is Middle French, from the verb clinquer, which means to glitter, literally to clink. And that is that word. Now we have the second form of clinkant, noun from 1682, and the synonym is just tinsel. Yeah, tinsel. Next is clintonia, noun from 1843, any of a genus of herbs of the lily family with yellow, white, or purplish flowers. And the genus name is also clintonia. And this is from DeWitt Clinton. And that's all it says. Next is Clio or Clio, capital CLIO, noun from 1557. 1. The Greek muse of history. Number 2 is plural, a statuette awarded annually by a professional organization for notable achievement in print and broadcast advertising. They're the Clios. Why are they the Clios? Why did they decide on that name? What does that mean? Do I have to look into this? Maybe. Next is cliometrics. Cliometrics, noun from 1960, the application of methods developed in other fields, as economics, statistics, and data processing, to the study of history. Well, that is very clearly related to the Greek muse of history. Cliometric is an adjective, and cliometrician, that is a noun. That's that. Next, and this is our last word for this episode, it is clip, CLIP. 3 forms in this episode, and the 4th form is in the next episode. This first form is a verb from before the 12th century, just transitive. 1. Synonym is encompass. 2a. To hold in a tight grip. Synonym is clutch. 2b. To clasp, fasten, or secure with a clip. This is from Middle English clip-in, from Old English clip-in with a Y, akin to the Old High German klaftra, which means fathom, from the Lithuanian globti, which means to embrace. Second form of clip is a noun from the 15th century. 1. Any of various devices that grip, clasp, or hook. 2. A device to hold cartridges for charging the magazines of some rifles, and then also a magazine from which ammunition is fed into the chamber of a firearm. 3. A piece of jewelry held in position by a clip. And then the third form of clip is a verb from the 13th century, starting with transitive. 1a. To cut or cut off with or as if with shears, as in clip a dog's hair. Also as in clip an hour off traveling time. That's pretty good. You must have been driving fast. 1B, to cut off the distal or outer part of. 1C1, the synonym is the third form of the word excise, EXCISE. 1C2, to cut items out of. And the example would be a newspaper. What are you, making a collage, or are you making a ransom note? You're clipping. 2A, synonyms are curtail and diminish. 2B, to abbreviate in speech or writing. 3, synonyms are hit and punch, especially to strike in passing, as in the car skidded off the road and clipped a lamppost. 4, to illegally block in football, and you are possibly illegally blocking the opposing player. 5, to take money from unfairly or dishonestly, especially by overcharging, as in the nightclub clipped the tourist for $200. Those were transitive. Now we have a few intransitive. 1, to clip something. 2, to travel or pass rapidly. 3, to clip an opposing player in football. Okay, the words today were clink, clinker, clinker-built, clinkety-clank, clinometer, clinus, clincant, clintonia, Clio or Clio, cliometrics, and clip. I think I will pick clinkety-clank as the word of the episode. Clinkety-clank, clinkety-clank, clinkety-clinkety-clinkety-clank. All right. Let's read the holidays. What are we on? August 14th. I believe I have appropriately adjusted my websites. In the Falkland Islands Day. In the Falkland Islands. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot of holidays today. It's Pakistan Independence Day. What are some fun holidays? Celebrate Your Lakes Day. Some places have a lot of lakes. I live on a very big lake, Lake Michigan. I'm very close to it. I don't live on it. I don't have that much money. But you go celebrate your lakes, your nearby lakes, if you got any. It's Color Book Day. It's not coloring book, it's color book. So books in color. It's National Bowling Day. I love bowling. Maybe I'll go bowling. It's National Creamsicle Day. It's National Financial Awareness Day. It's also National Garage Sale Day. Go have a garage sale. National Model Aviation Day. So make a model airplane. National Navajo Code Talkers Day. Don't think we know enough about those people and what they do. So go learn about them. It's National Tattoo Removal Day. So even if you like your tattoo, you got to go get it removed today, which is a very painful and expensive and multi-day process. National Wiffle Ball Day. There are a lot of fun holidays on today. Social Security Day. I don't know what that means. And I don't know why it's not on this page, but it's been on some other pages. Oh my God, there's more. Free Comic Book Day. And then lastly, it is, let's double check this. It's not on this page. Oh my God, why do I have to go to the last page? It's World Lizard Day. So go celebrate the lizards all around the world. They're cool. All right, we're going to end the episode there. Thank you very much for listening. And until next time, this is Spencer dispensing information. Goodbye. Before we get started with today's episode, I just wanted to add a little thing in here first to let you know that I speak like an idiot more than normal later in this episode. I speak like an idiot all the time. But in this one particularly, I listened back to it, getting ready to post, and I thought, well, I don't think I really expressed what I wanted to express. And that is all around the word clitoris or clitoris, depending on how you want to say it. I'm not editing anything out from the episode, so you'll hear all my idiocy in all its glory. But basically, what I was trying to say was, I feel like this is a very important part of the female anatomy, the female-born anatomy, that I could be wrong. But I feel like both men and women don't know enough about it. in their own bodies or in other people's bodies, and it feels like this is something that more people should know about. So I will post some links, obviously, in the show notes that give everybody more information about this. I just feel like as much attention needs to be given to female bodies as much as male bodies, and I feel like that is not something that our society or culture does in a healthy way. So I don't know. I hope that this sort of clears up what you will hear later, so you can just ignore the rest of that. As I do mention in the episode, I would have liked to have an expert. I did contact somebody, and they said that they're very busy and that they are not doing any really public podcast appearances or anything like that for a while. So just bad timing. But that's life. So you will not hear from an expert, but you will hear from me, the person who knows a tiny, tiny bit about some stuff. So on with the episode. Hello, word nerds. Welcome to the dictionary. This is my podcast. It's just mine, and I talk about all the things in the English language that are in this book. And if you want to hear me read about unusual words in the English language, you can join Patreon. You can be a patron of me for $5 a month, and you'll get some exclusives. And mostly what's up there is me reading from this other book that has very unusual words. I mean, they are quite unusual. All right, so in this episode, you probably saw in the title, the very last word is, it's physiological. It's what is the word I'm looking for? It's not an adult thing per se, but it's not necessarily something that kids are dealing with, and it's a very it's a good thing to learn about and discuss and just be knowledgeable about. So I guess we'll talk a little bit about that when we get there at the end. I did reach out to an expert who did not reply back to me. I could have done some more effort. Who could have been on this episode, or maybe record something. Maybe I'll reach out a little bit more and see if they can record a little clip just to so I can throw in here at the end. So you can have somebody who is more educated than me talk about this topic. But yeah, I just feel like I bring it up just because I am not an expert. I should not be the one who is teaching people about this, but here we are. This is the situation. Anyway, let us talk about the first word, which is the fourth form of clip, C-L-I-P. Noun from the 15th century, 1A. It is plural. It is Scottish, and the synonym is shears. Clips, shears. 1B. A two-bladed instrument for cutting, especially the nails. Do I need to clip my nails? Some of my toenails are looking a little bit long, but I'll probably wait like 6 months and then I'll cut them then. Number 2, something that is clipped, as 2A, the product of a single shearing, as of sheep. 2B, a crop of wool of a sheep, a flock, or a region. 2C, a section of filmed, videotaped, or recorded material. I deal with this all the time. The things I edit are made up of lots and lots of clips. 2D, a clipping, especially from a newspaper. My wife and I still sometimes get clips from newspapers given to us by parents or grandparents. Oh, I thought you would appreciate this. I'm like, you could just send us a link to the website. They don't know that. That's okay. That's fine. Number 3, an act of clipping. 4, a sharp blow. Number 5, the synonym is the 4A definition for the word rate, R-A-T-E, as in continues at a brisk clip. A brisk clip. 6, a single instance or occasion, synonym is time, as in he charged $10 a clip. And that is often used in the phrase at a clip, as in trained 1,000 workers at a clip. Yep, that's it. All right, next is clip art. 2 words, noun from 1968. Ready-made, usually copyright-free illustrations sold in books or as part of a software package from which they may be cut and pasted or inserted as artwork. They're just little clips of art, little pieces. I did not realize that you could get these in books way back in the 60s. I think my first awareness of this was probably on the internet, or maybe like Microsoft Word had them in the 90s. But yeah, I did not know it went that far back. Clip art. It's just generic stuff, and now it's emojis. Next is clipboard. One word. I don't know why, but for some reason I have trouble remembering this word. On multiple occasions, I think I have said, what's that thing? It's like the hard surface, and it's got the thing on top, and I'm like, what is that thing? It's a clipboard. It's a clipboard, dummy. It's a board, and you can clip stuff to it. It's right there in the name. What's that board that you clip things to it? An attachment piece? This is a noun from 1885. 1. A small writing board with a clip at the top for holding papers. 2. A section of computer memory that temporarily stores data as text or a graphics image, especially to facilitate its movement or duplication. Copy and paste. You copy something to the clipboard, which you never get to see. It's just an ethereal thing in the computer. It's in the clipboard. I think that computer makers need to make multiple clipboards. I think because how many times have you copied something and then you forget to paste it, or you want to copy something else and then you want to have like multiple things? You could easily just add like a 1. Control C1 would be copy to clipboard 1. Control C2 would be copy to clipboard 2. Does this exist? Am I not aware of this? Do I need to look into this? Honestly, why doesn't it exist? If it doesn't exist, why not? It would be super easy to implement, I think. You could have, but then you'd have to remember, I got this thing in clipboard 1, I got this thing in clipboard 2. It takes a little bit of effort, but usually you only probably need 2. Anyway, it's just a thing that I have dealt with. Maybe I'm the only one. Next is clip-clop. 2 words with a hyphen, noun from 1884. The sound made by or as if by a horse walking on a hard surface. And clip-clop is an intransitive verb. Next is clip joint. 2 words, noun from 1932. Number 1 is slang. In fact, number 2 is slang too. Number 1, a place of public entertainment, as a nightclub, that makes a practice of defrauding patrons, as by overcharging. I don't think I've heard this before. Why is it called a clip joint? Joint makes sense because it's, you call a place a joint, but I don't understand the clip part. And then number 2, also slang, a business that makes a practice of overcharging. Now, what is the difference between these two? Is there? Next is clip on. 2 words with a hyphen, adjective from 1909, attached with a clip, as in a clip-on tie. Also as in clip-on earrings. I had a clip-on tie, and somebody liked it, so I gave it to them. They were kind of a celebrity, maybe more than kind of, and they wanted it, or they really liked it, and so I said, hey, you want it? I mean, it was cheap. Clip-on is also a noun. I need some more clip-on things. Next is clipper, noun from the 14th century. 1 that clips something. 2, an implement for clipping, especially hair, fingernails, or toenails, usually used in plural, clippers. 3a, one that moves swiftly. 3b, a fast sailing ship, especially one with long, slender lines, an overhanging bow or bow, tall masts, and a large sail area. A large sail area. Next is clipping, noun from the 15th century, something that is clipped off or out of something else, as in grass clippings, especially an item clipped from a publication. And then you can mail it to somebody you know. Say, look at this clipping, I thought of you. Next is clip sheet, 1 word, noun from 1926, a sheet of newspaper material issued by an organization for clipping and reprinting. Next can be pronounced a couple of ways. It is click or cleek. Clique. Noun from 1711. A narrow, exclusive circle or group of persons, especially one held together by common interests. And what happened to my voice? One held together by common interests, views, or purposes. Cliquey or cliquey is an adjective. Cliquish is an adjective. Cliquishly is an adverb. And cliquishness is a noun. It's a French word. That's all it says. Do I say click? I think I say click. You could also say cleek. Cleek? Click? Yeah. Next is clitellum. 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 Noun from 1839. A thickened glandular section of the body wall of some annelids that secretes a viscid sac in which the eggs are deposited. Let's see. This is from the Latin clitelli, which means pack saddle. Next is clitic. Clitic. Noun from 1946. A word that is treated in pronunciation as forming a part of a neighboring word and that is often unaccented or contracted. Can you give me an example of this? I don't understand it. Let's see. The etymology says, it doesn't say much. It says, it just shows two words, enclitic, en, and then clitic, or proclitic. Now, in those cases, it's a suffix, but this definition didn't say anything about it being a suffix. So I'm a little confused by that, but we'll learn about enclitic and proclitic later. But it's a word that is treated in pronunciation as forming of... I do not know what this is. I need to look more into this. All right, next is... All right, well, this is related to our last word. These are our last two words. I should read the last word first, but I'm not going to. So this next one, it's not a good thing unless it's no, I should say it's not good to have this happen, but it is a good thing to happen because there is probably a medical issue underlying. So it's probably a positive thing, but you don't want to have to go through this. So it's two versions of the same word, clitoridectomy or clitorectomy. I think most of you can probably see where this is going. It is a noun from 1866, and it just means excision of all or part of the clitoris. And, why would that be happening? There is, who knows? Lots of reasons. It is possible that this could happen for religious or cultural things, or somebody could be doing this to somebody without their consent, and that is bad. Please don't do that. But in medical situations, it needs to happen. All right. So on that note, let's talk about our last word. It can be pronounced a couple of ways. I think people probably argue one way or the other, but both are fine. It is clitoris or clitoris. Clitoris. Noun from 1615. A small erectile female organ located within the anterior junction of the labia minora that develops from the same embryonic mass of tissue as the penis and is responsive to sexual stimulation. I'm glad that they actually put that in there, that it comes from the same embryonic mass as the penis, because I was going to say that. It is the same part. If your genes are saying go be a lady, it becomes a clitoris and it doesn't grow that much. If the genes say go be a dude, then it becomes a penis. And, the genes will say how those things happen. They both have a whole bunch of nerves in them. So, that's that. This is a good thing to learn about. Both men and women should know about this. And, I'm going to post a link to some additional info, because, we gotta give you all the extra info. I reached out to a woman named Helen O'Connell, And I believe she is a. I should probably be more specific with what I'm about to say. I don't remember her exact title, but she is a scientist and she studies the body. And I think she was the one who studied the clitoris and learned so much more about it than anybody had before her. So, there's a lot to learn, and I don't know. Again, I'm not an expert, so I really probably shouldn't say a whole lot. So go learn more about it from scientific places, scientific resources. Yeah. Clitoral is, or clitoric, those are adjectives. And does the etymology say anything? Not much. Greek, clitoris, Kleitoris. Yes. I don't know how good your human sexuality or human, what am I trying to say? Your educational system is on teaching sex ed. So, we gotta make sure that the kids are smart about this stuff. All right. So the words today were clip, clip art, clipboard, clip clop, clip joint, clip on, clipper, clipping, clip sheet, click, clitellum, yes, clitellum, clitic, clitoridectomy, and clitoris. Well, there wasn't really anything that jumped out at me, so I guess personally, well, not personally, but I just feel like in general, the most important word would just be clitoris, just because, I don't know why I'm so focused on this. I just feel like it is a thing that not people just don't know enough about. And I'm probably one of them. And, I think science actually still does not know a lot about this. So let's sing a song about clitoris. What is happening? Is this real? Is this real life? Why have I chosen to read the dictionary and say these things? And then you get to listen to me talk about it. Why are you listening to this in the first place? But if you like to hear me yammer on about stupid stuff, you can tell other people and all that stuff. Clitoris. All right. The holidays. Poland, Armed Forces Day. Equatorial Guinea, Constitution Day. Argentina and Peru, earliest day for Children's Day. Harlem, now that's not Harlem in New York, that's Haarlem. Harlem and Amsterdam have, it's the earliest day for Day of Hearts. Paraguay, founding of Asuncion. In South Korea, it is Independence Day. North Korea, also Independence Day, but it's also called Fatherland Liberation Day, and they both have Korean names, which I feel like I should not try to pronounce because I will butcher them terribly. Also Independence Day in India. Oh, India, that's a big one. 1947. Also Independence Day in Republic of the Congo. In Liechtenstein, it is National Day. In Bangladesh, it is National Mourning Day, Mourning. Egypt and the Coptic Church, it's the first day of flooding of the Nile. Why are we flooding the Nile? In Japan, it is the main day of Bon Festival. And then relatedly, it is Awa Dance Festival in the Tokushima Prefecture. In the UK, it is Victory over Japan Day. And then in Japan, it is End of War Memorial Day, National Memorial Service for War Dead. Wow, that became a bummer. But things to know about and talk about. Let's see. It is National Relaxation Day. In Canada, it is National Acadian Day. In Australia, National Science Week starts. In Peru, it is anniversary of Blanca Arequipa Day. In Greece, Dormition of the Holy Virgin. Netherlands, formal end of Second World War. Costa Rica, Mother's Day. Belgium, Mother's Day in Antwerpen. Argentina, Grandfather and Grandson's Day. Well, I hope Argentina has Grandmother and Granddaughter's Day. In Belgium, Croatia, and Slovenia, it is Assumption with an O. European Union has, we said that. Yep, I think that was all the stuff. And the fun holidays, Assumption of Mary, Chant at the Moon Day. I will chant at the moon. It is God's Preeminence Day. Don't know what that is. It's also I Love Cowboys and Cowgirls Day. And there's a picture of, I guess these are the Lego minifigs for, why am I blanking on their names? I'm such a dummy. From Pixar. There's a snake in my boot. Woody and his cowgirl partner, and I'm blanking on her name, played by Arquette? No, not Arquette. Cusack. Joan Cusack, I think. I cannot remember her name. I apologize. National Best Friends Day. National Check the Chip Day. National Failures Day. There's a picture of a sinking boat. National Leathercraft Day. National Lemon Meringue Pie Day. I like the picture for National Relaxation Day. It's just like a sleeping seal or some other similar creature because I can't tell them apart. Nicholas Chauvin Day. Who is Nicholas Chauvin? What? Why? I don't know how official this is. Different. I don't know. We're going to move on. And that's it for that. Let's check this one. I think we got everything. Oh, National Back to School Prep Day. Gotta go. Oh, school's coming up. Gotta go get your utensils. Your utensils. Your pencils and utensils and stencils and things that rhyme with that. We're going to end this ridiculous episode. Thank you very much for listening. And until next time, this is Spencer dispensing information. Goodbye. Hello, word nerds. If you like this podcast, if you have listened to more than just this one episode, please go ahead and rate and review it on Apple Podcasts or other places. Subscribe, and share. Tell people that you have a podcast that you like. If you want to message me, you can do that at dictionarypod on Twitter and Instagram. Email me, dictionarypod@gmail.com. There is a phone number in the Google Voice. No, that's not how you say that. There's a phone number in the show notes. It's a Google Voice number. You can leave a voicemail. And if I like it, I'll put it in an episode. And, just let's communicate. Let's be interactive. Okay, so the first word in this episode is clivia or clivia. Clivia, noun from 1828. Any of a genus, clivia, of perennial evergreen South African herbs of the amaryllis family with fleshy roots and umbels of large funnel-shaped flowers. This is from Lady Charlotte Clive, who was the Duchess of Northumberland and died in 1866. So, hey, this Duchess got some stuff named after her. Next is CLK, abbreviation for clerk. Next is CLO, abbreviation for clothing. Next is a word that I would have liked to have an expert on, but I didn't make that happen. It is cloaca, CLOACA, noun from 1599. Let's see. Yep, we'll just go. Number one is the synonym is the word sewer, SEWER. It's the third form specifically. Number two, the common chamber into which the intestinal and urogenital tracts discharge, especially in monotreme mammals, birds, reptiles, amphibians, and elasmobranch fishes. Is that what that word is? Elasmobranch. Elasmobranch? It goes over to the second line, so it's a very confusing word. Anyway, those fishes. And then also a comparable chamber of an invertebrate. And then number three, it's the number two definition for the word cesspool. Cloacal is an adjective. So the number two definition is the one that I think gets used mostly. And it's a very complicated way to basically say it's one hole in an animal where they poo and pee out of, and I think reproduce probably, and I think that's that. Yeah, I think that's what it is basically. Let's see. I will probably post a link to the episode ologies where they talk about this more. I think there's the birds episode where they talk about it, and there might be another one. But yeah, a lot of birds and lizards and things have this thing. Humans don't. This is Latin. It is akin to the Greek klizine, which means to wash. And there's more at the word clister, Clyster. Interesting that it's connected to the word wash. Okay, next is cloak. First form, noun from the 13th century. 1. A loose outer garment. 2. Something likened to an outer garment, as 2a. Something that envelops or conceals, as in a cloak of secrecy. I want an invisibility cloak. 2b. A distinctive character or role, as in hung up his academic cloak to become a stay-at-home father. That is a quote from Charles Chamberlain. Let's see, this is from Anglo-French, cloak with a Q-U-E. It means bell or cloak, from Middle Latin cloca, which means bell, which is from its shape. I guess a cloak sort of is bell-shaped. Second form of cloak, transitive verb from 1509, to cover or hide with, or as if with, a cloak. And the synonym is the word disguise. Next is cloak and dagger, 3 words with hyphens, adjective from 1860, dealing in or suggestive of melodramatic intrigue and action, usually involving secret agents and espionage, as in a cloak and dagger novel. Cloak and dagger is also a noun. Next is cloakroom. 1 word, noun, from circa 1852. 1a, a room in which outdoor clothing may be placed during one's stay. I think you could also call it a coat room. 1b, the synonym is check room, because you got to check your cloaks in the cloakroom. 2, an anteroom of a legislative chamber where members may relax and confer with colleagues. And then number 3 is British. It's the number 2 definition for the word lavatory or lavatory or lavatory or lavatory. I was just trying to find other ways to say it. All right, next is clobber. First form, noun from 1879. It is British slang, and it's the number 1 definition for the word clothes. Your clothes are your clobber? Second form of clobber, verb from circa 1942. I think it's just transitive. 1, to pound mercilessly. Also, to hit with force, as in clobber a home run. 2a, to defeat overwhelmingly. 2b, to have a strongly negative impact on, as in businesses clobbered by the recession. And C, 2c, to criticize harshly. The origin is unknown. Next is clochard. 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 You don't say the D. Clochard. Noun from 1937. Synonyms are vagrant and tramp. This is French from clocher, which means to limp. From Latin clopus, Lower Latin clopus, which means lame. So, I mean, not all vagrants and tramps are lame or limp or have a limp, but, whatever. Next is cloche, Cloche, noun from 1882. Number 1, a transparent plant cover, used outdoors especially for protection against cold. Number 2, a woman's close-fitting hat, usually with deep rounded crown and narrow brim. This is a French word. It literally means bell. Cloche, bell. So, yeah, it's a bell. And our last word is clock. First form, noun from the 14th century. Number 1, a device other than a watch for indicating or measuring time, commonly by means of hands moving on a dial. And then broadly, any periodic system by which time is measured. 2, a registering device, usually with a dial, specifically the synonym odometer. Number 3, synonym is time clock. 4, a synchronizing device, as in a computer, that produces pulses at regular intervals. Produces pulses. Number 5, synonym is biological clock. And we have some phrases. Against the clock. 1, with or within a time constraint, as in working against the clock. 2, with clocked speed rather than the order of finish as the criterion for placement. Do I need to read that again? With clocked speed rather than the order of finish as the criterion for placement. So it's not about who finishes first, it's about the speed or the time. Yeah, as in trial races against the clock. Next phrase is around the clock or just round the clock. 1, continuously for 24 hours. Day and night without cessation. That place is open 24/7 round the clock. Number 2, without relaxation and heedless of time. Next phrase is 2 versions, kill the clock or run out the clock. This is to use up as much as possible of the playing time remaining in a game, as football, while retaining possession of the ball or puck, especially to protect a lead. This is from Middle English, clock, with no C at the end. From Middle Dutch, clock, with an E added at the end, which means bell or clock. From Old French or Middle Latin, Old French dialect, Picard, cloc, cloque, which means bell. From Middle Latin, clocca, which is of Celtic origin, akin to the Middle Irish cloc, which means bell. Basically, it just means bell. Why do clocks mean bell? Because you'd have a bell in a tower when the clock struck an hour and then the bells would go off. Is that why clock means bell. Why did I never know this? Clock means bell. Okay, so the words today were clivia, CLK, CLO, cloaca, cloak, cloak and dagger, cloakroom, clobber, clochard, cloche, and clock. I will pick cloaca as the word of the episode, and of course, I will put in a link in the show notes so you can go learn about the cloaca, because it is a fascinating piece of anatomy that humans don't have. Hey, today is August 16th. It is my dad's birthday. Happy birthday, Dad. Let's talk about the holidays. In Vermont, it is Bennington Battle Day. In Paraguay, it is Children's Day. In Kyoto, Japan, it is Gozan no Okuribi. In the U.S., it is National Airborne Day. In the Dominican Republic, it is Restoration Day. Independence Day for Gabon. In Palau de Cerdan in France, it is Gicolatada. I do not know how to say that word. Let's see. I have to update my pages while I do this. Any other holidays? Let's see. Discovery Day in Canada. It is, I think, Argentina. Anniversary of General Jose de San Martin. And let's check the fun holidays. There was a couple that I skipped that might be on this page, so let's find out as we update. Australia has Cupcake Day. National Bratwurst Day. Maybe I'll go get some of those Beyond Meat sausages. I don't know if they're brats. They're similar. It is National Roller Coaster Day. Woohoo! I do love me some roller coasters. It's also National Rum Day, but don't drink a lot of rum before you go on a roller coaster, because that's going to be a problem. National Tell a Joke Day. If you know a joke, tell a joke. Email me a joke. I want to hear it. It is Stay Home with Your Kids Day, if you like them. It is True Love Forever Day, and it shows a picture of an elderly couple hanging out. Oh, they're on swings. That's sweet. I got me some True Love Forever. We'll go ride on the swings. Many other fun holidays for today. Chant at the Moon Day. Wait, is that yesterday? Today? Oh no, I'm looking at the wrong day. Discovery Day. I don't know if I said that, and I think that's it. Thank you very much for listening, and until next time, this is Spencer dispensing all of this very scientific, excellent, informational stuff to you. Goodbye. Hello, word nerds, word turds. Man, I can't think of anything else off the top of my head that doesn't, other than word turds. Word swords? That doesn't work. All right. The first word in this episode is the word clock. Very bottom of page 232, 3 lines going on to 233. This is the second form of clock. It is a verb from 1883, and it is starting with transitive. 1A, to time with a stopwatch or by an electric timing device. 1B, to be timed at. 2, to register on a mechanical recording device, as in wind velocities were clocked at 80 miles per hour. Excuse me for the burp. 3, to hit hard. 4 is chiefly British. Synonyms are attain and realize, and that is usually used with the word up, as in just clocked up a million paperback sales. That's from Punch, something called Punch. 5A, to travel a distance over time, as in clocks more than 15,000 miles a year on business. 15,000 miles a year. That's a lot of miles, I guess. Although, I don't know, maybe it's not that much. 5B, the synonym is, this is interesting, the number 3 definition for the words put in. Put in, as in clocking long hours at the office. Now we have intransitive. 1, to have a specified duration or speed, and that is used with the word in, as in the movie clocked in at just under 3 hours. And then it says broadly, to have a specified measure or value, and that is also used with the word in, as in the meal clocked in at about $15. I guess that's somewhat reasonable. 2, to register on a timesheet or time clock. Synonym is punch. Interesting that the British example was from something called Punch, and here we have Punch again. I don't know. Interesting. Coincidence? Probably not. Moving on. This one, by the way, is used with in, out, on, or off. So many forms. Clock in, clock out, clock on, clock off. They all mean the same thing, I guess, as in he clocked in late. Clocker is a noun. Now we have the third form of clock, noun from 1530, an ornamental figure on the ankle or side of a stocking or sock. That's a clock? An ornamental figure on the ankle? Don't know what that is. Next is clock-like, adjective from 1609. I think it should just say like a clock, but it doesn't. It says unusually regular, undeviating, and precise, as in does his job with clock-like efficiency. Next is clock radio, 2 words, noun from 1949, a combination clock and radio device in which the clock can be set to turn on the radio at a designated time. Whoa, how does it do that? That's fancy. Amazing that we have the technology to do that 72 years ago. Next is clock watcher, 2 words with a hyphen, noun from 1911, a person, as a worker or student, who keeps close watch on the passage of time. Clock watching is a noun. There is a story that I don't specifically remember it, but it doesn't surprise me at all. My dad likes to tell this story. He asked me to, he said, tell me when the second hand of the big hand, the minute hand of the clock reaches this point. He needed to know like when maybe 5 minutes had passed or something like that. And I supposedly just sat there staring at the clock for however long it was. It could have been a minute, could have been 5 minutes, could have been 10 minutes for all I know. And he said when he came back, I was still staring at the clock. So I was a clock watcher. I 100% believe that story. That is absolutely something I would do back then, or even now for that matter. Next is clockwise. Adverb from 1888. In the direction in which the hands of a clock rotate as viewed from in front or as if standing on a clock face. Clockwise is an adjective. I particularly enjoy counterclockwise, or as if I think the British say anti-clockwise. Next is clockwork, noun from 1628. 1. The inner workings of something. 2. The machinery, as springs and a train of gears, that run a clock. The machinery that run a clock. Also, a similar mechanism running a mechanical device, as a toy. 3. The precision, regularity, or absence of variation associated with a clock or clockwork, as in a clockwork operation, also as in the planning went like clockwork. Next is clod, C-L-O-D, noun from the 15th century. 1a, a lump or mass, especially of earth or clay. 1b, synonyms are soil and earth. 2, synonyms are oaf and dolt. Oaf, O-A-F, dolt, D-O-L-T. Cloddish is an adjective. Cloddishness is a noun. Cloddy is an adjective. I don't understand that. We're going to move on to clodhopper. Noun from 1709. 1. A clumsy and uncouth rustic. 2. A large, heavy work shoe or boot. Oh, I got to put on my clodhoppers. Next is clodhopping. Adjective from 1787. Synonyms are boorish and rude. I'm guessing that's where we get the word clod from for the oaf and dolt synonyms. Again, relatedly, clodpole, C-L-O-D-P-O-L-L or P-O-L-E. Noun from 1601. The synonym is blockhead. Sometimes I feel like a clodpole. Sometimes I feel like a clodpole. Sometimes I don't. Next we have clofibrate. Clofibrate or clofibrate. Noun from 1964. A compound, C12H15Cl03, used especially to lower abnormally high concentrations of fat and cholesterol in the blood. And our last word, 2 forms, it's the word clog, C-L-O-G. First form, noun from the 14th century. 1a, a weight attached especially to an animal to hinder motion. 1b, something that shackles or impedes, and the synonym is the number 1 definition for the word encumbrance. 2, a shoe, sandal, or overshoe having a thick, typically wooden sole. This is from Middle English, clog, C-L-O-G-G-E, which is a short, thick piece of wood. And then the second form of clog is a verb from the 14th century, starting with transitive. 1a, to impede with a clog, and the synonym is hinder. 1b, to halt or retard the progress, operation, or growth of. Synonym is encumber, as in restraints that have been clogging the market. That is a quote from T.W. Arnold. Is that Tom Arnold? Tom William Arnold? I don't know. 2a, to fill beyond capacity. Synonym is overload, as in cars clogged the main street. That is often used with the word up, as in petty cases clogging up the court. So I guess both with up and without up. 2b, to cause blockage in, often used with the word up, as in arteries clogged up by cholesterol, hey, you know what you can do to fix that or to help that or to prevent it in the first place? Don't eat so much meat and dairy. That's just my little thing that I got to say every once in a while. Moving on to intransitive verb definitions. 1, to become filled with extraneous matter. Again, often used with the word up. 2, to unite in a mass. We are uniting into a mass. The synonym is clot. Like you got an injury and it's got to get clotted. The blood clot. Maybe? I don't know. 3, to dance in a clog dance. Clippity cloppity clog dance. We have a synonym for everything. It is the word hamper. Clogger is a noun. There are bloggers, there are vloggers, and there are cloggers. No etymology. So the words today were clock, clock-like, clock radio, clock watcher, clockwise, clockwork, clod, clodhopper, clodhopping, clodpole, clofibrate, and clog. What do I want to pick? What? I will pick, I don't know. It's a fun word. Clodhopper, sure. Clodhopper. I am a clodhopper. All right, let's talk about the holidays. Hopefully, I updated my websites. I don't think I did. So let's do that now. I will cut this out.
Hello, my name is Michael Hunter. My buddy David Spencer and I have a new podcast all about one of our favorite internet sites growing up, HomestarRunner.com. You know, the guys that did...
This is Girl Squad! Looks like we're gonna have to jump! I said come on, for who we got to say come on.
We're going through every Flash cartoon on the site in release order. I've seen all of them. David has seen most of them, and David's wife Alexa pops in and watches them for the first time, just for the show. Come on, Fahoogwapods, a Homestar Runner podcast, available wherever podcasts are sold, and at pipedreampodcast.com.
And we're back. So, in Colombia, it is Engineers Day. In Bolivia, it is Flag Day. In Indonesia, it is Independence Day. It is also Independence Day in Gabon. Wow, we've been seeing a lot of Independence Days recently. In Jamaica, it is Marcus Garvey Day. In Slovenia, it is Prekmurj Union Day. In Argentina, it is San Martin Day, or San Martin, maybe? Any extra holidays on this day? It is National Nonprofit Day. It is Black Cat Appreciation Day in Canada, the UK, and America. Maybe other places too. We do appreciate our black cats. They're not evil like people think. We have a half black cat. She's mostly black, and she's got some white. She's a tuxedo cat. In Slovenia, we said that. In India, it is Parsi New Year's Day, also called Nowruz. In Colombia, National Engineers Day. Bolivia, National Flag Day. And what are the fun holidays for August 17th? It is Baby Boomers Recognition Day. Yes, baby boomers, we recognize you. It is Balloon Airmail Day. Why? It is National Number 2 Pencil Day. Are there other numbered pencils? Is there a number 1 pencil? What is with this number 2 pencil? I don't understand this. Ever since I was a kid, they've talked about, you gotta have a number 2 pencil. Where are the other numbers? I need to know this. It is National I Love My Feet Day. My feet are okay. It is National Meaning of the Word Is Day. And there's a picture of Bill Clinton. I think that's back when he was being impeached for his... Oh, we're not going to get into this, but, I think he talked about the definition of the word is, and we will be talking about the definition of the word is in, probably a few years. It's National Nonprofit Day, National Thrift Shop Day. Go get some stuff at a thrift shop. National Vanilla Custard Day. And I think that is probably everything. Yep, that is it. Thank you very much for listening, and until next time, this is Spencer dispensing information. Goodbye.